perspective and all that, getting hit multiple times coming out of that bike section. More drivers coming to blows.
Hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome back here to Slow Motion Broadcasting, and welcome back to Season 10 of XSLR. This is the final race for the rally cars and ride number 12 of the season, coming to you tonight from Atlanta. And no, we are not calling it Echo Park Speedway tonight. My name is Ron Maunz, and alongside me for tonight is Charles Beauchelle. Well, Charles, we're here at a not often used rallycross configuration here at Atlanta. It's a funky layout, it's got some rather peculiar bends, but I'm expecting a lot of fun here for the final go for these rally machines.
Wait, this isn't the driver's meeting? Oh, wait, yeah, that's right. I'm not driving tonight. Oh, yeah, no, it's going to be a fun race, Ron. I'm just going to take the night off and sit up here and talk about this with you instead of subjecting myself to all this punishment of driving this rally course and potentially endangering myself and others. It's much more fun up here just sit and watch and talk about it.
Oh, God, I think this may be a preview for tonight. Oh, man, there we go. That sets the tone for the night. Jason Grider sends it into low Earth orbit. That is spectacular. He's upside down, turtled, and that brings to an end practice. What a way to ring in the action tonight. Oh man, yeah. I think if that is not an omen, I'm not really sure what will be. No, I think before we get off into qualifying, we'll take a quick gander at the championship points because we are nearing the end of this season. Time flies when you are having fun. 20 rounds from this season. The first ever XSLR seasons have more than 4 series. We are running 5, running 2 different kinds of asphalt road machines. So we'll take a quick gander at the championship points before we get some time set on the board. Adam Thompson, top of the board at the moment. I would boom, but he's a great guy, and I don't want to get myself pilloried here on slow motion broadcasting. Jake Ham is slotted in second. Derek Folk rounds out your top 3 with Tyler Brand in 4th, Kevin Irwin in 5th, Andy Cossack in P6, Dylan Vose in 7th, Chad Gross in 8th, Matt Last in 9th, Brad Cathcart completes your top 10 with Joshua Suchi right behind him, P11, Jason Grider in P12, Mr. Joshua Wilkie slotted in lucky number P13, Corey Pan in 14th, Tyler Coates in 15th, Harrison Chandler in P16. There I can see you, Charles, down there in P17. Hey. Colin Finland completes your top 18. We'll go through just one more driver. Jimmy Howitt rounds out your field. I will say, though, Charles, to make you feel better about being there in the points, you do have less jump starts than Josh, though, so you can take that any day of the week.
This is true, and I'm not last, so I'm very happy with that. So yeah, limited opportunity to get out there this year. I'm not a dirt driver, so everything that I've done on the dirt has been basically new experience. I've enjoyed the ARCAs. That was quite fun at the beginning of the season, and so I'm just going to sit this one out today. We'll get to the not to foreshadow too much, but the TCRs next week will kick off at VIR, and I'll start getting back out there and logging some laps and getting used to that. And then obviously we finish up with the F3s, which is just going to be so much fun. Really looking forward to that. I think a lot of the drivers in this series are as well.
Yeah, that is going to be a wild end to this season. The F3s, some pretty nice cars here on iRacing. I talk about them a lot. It was my first love when it came to driving cars in the sim. They were just absolutely fantastic, and really looking to see what sort of action XSLR will bring. It's the second season in a row that the road course is going to end the season after last season when it was the GT3s, bringing the Season 9 action to a conclusion following Adam Thompson, your championship points leader out there on the racetrack. Hop, skip, and a jump over this track. This is a rather confusing layout. I got an opportunity to drive it very briefly, and I can't say it was a truly representative experience because the first time I drove it was also my first time ever racing in the brand new FIA cross car that they just introduced, what was it, a matter of like 3 days ago? So
yep, something like that.
Yeah, it was not the most representative, but this track is a little bit odd.
I once again did not log any laps out here because I don't own the track, so so not out there.
Excuse me. Hello.
Hello. Who this?
Hey, I don't know who's that. Hello.
Who's calling? Who's
Meow.
calling? Thank you. Adam, I will say, he left. I was actually warned of his presence, as was everybody, because I forgot to turn on streamer mode on Discord. So I heard the quintessential Discord ding when he joined. So you know what? We'll count that as a meower sort of tone. Yeah. Hello, Adam. I was warned of your arrival. What did he say? Did you just call me a meatball?
I couldn't tell if that was a meatball or meow, so we'll just say it was meow again. So as we normally get from Adam, just popping into. I think we should just block him for the time being. Just remove the roll from the booth until the race is over, and then he can come in and meow all he wants to. So. But yeah, it's once again I haven't logged any laps here, so it's it's a new experience. I don't know if this is I honestly don't know if this is one of these wannabe tracks or if this is actually a rallycross track that existed at some point in time in real life. But it's going to be interesting. Obviously, mix of dirt and asphalt as they're actually running on the NASCAR oval a little bit. I do believe what I saw as we were watching these cars go through. Now we're on board here with Edgar Santinelli in the Subaru WRX STI, working his way through a section here and carrying a little too much speed. Gets it caught up and around. This is one of the good things about this is when you're on the dirt section, these cars bite pretty quickly. So It's the asphalt sections that you really have to worry about. They don't necessarily handle like a GT3 car when you're on the asphalt, but they handle quite well in the dirt sections.
Yeah, so we'll have to see exactly what's kind of style of racing we're going to get here today. I think the dirt sections are rather technical, and that small little banked turn that you saw there, just barely on the entrance into the infield, but really interesting part of the racetrack, and will be a bit of a launching pad a little bit later on here. But let's take a look at the first starting grid of the night. It's going to be Adam Thompson starting this race from the pole, Kevin Irwin in the cheese car starting in second. It's Brad Cathcart in third, Edgar Sancinelli in fourth, Jimmy Howitt will round out your field. So 5 starters in the first race of the night. A quick little heads up. Throughout most of the season, we have had 12 lap features. Here we're going to have 10 because this track is a bit on the longer end. So we'll have to see exactly how that plays into these drivers' hands, or maybe plays to these drivers' disadvantages. We'll just have to wait and see. Waiting for Adam to line up there on the starting grid, which he has now. About to get a start here in just a couple of moments. Time to get the action up and rolling here for the first heat race of the night. We're going to have 5 lights on and 5 lights at. The green flag flies. The drivers are on their way. Thompson and Irwin already with the drag race heading down to the first heavy braking zone. Note the barrels on the inside there. The Ohio State flower. I'll elaborate that a little bit later on as Kevin Irwin and Sancinelli already being bang. Something's going on with Brad Cathcart. Jimmy Howitt, meanwhile, running all by his lonesome, slotted in fourth. So right as we were focused on the front 2 banging doors, I think Brad Cathcart banged himself off the road.
Kind of what it looks like to me as well. You'll have to maybe get a replay here and see if maybe there was contact between him and Howitt, but obviously Brad's a little bit off the back of the field now as Adam Thompson works his way through. Here comes our replay of the start of the race. Good jump out there by Adam on the inside there, coming down into the first corner, and you see the side-by-side, the beating and banging there, and there's the issue. There was a little bit of contact there between, I believe that was Cathcart and Sancinelli. Jimmy Howitt gets caught up in that as well, in that cursed Budweiser Ford Fiesta. Dale Jr. rolling over in his grave, seeing the size of that. And as these guys are still wanting, and we're going to Kevin Irwin taking the Joker lap already. Are we still doing 2 Jokers for tonight? Is that still the rule?
I believe we are, so that is going to play a pretty big factor in all this. I'm looking forward to seeing what these racers may try and do here. I think in these first races, I don't believe it is. Actually, no, it may still be 2 in these races based off the fact that Adam Thompson. I mean, there's nothing major that's gone on with him here in this race. That's joining the broadcast booth to meow. So I think there may be another. Maybe another Joker lap that we're about to see get served by him.
Yeah, I think so, as we see that Thompson's back down into P3. And here we go with the Joker lap. This is going to give him quite a bit of an advantage as we get a battle there between Irwin and Howitt. I'm sorry, that's Thompson and Irwin. My mistake, as now they're back into P1 and P2 as Jokers have been completed. And that's dropped Howitt down to third, Sancinelli fourth, and Brad Cathcart trailing back in P5. I think Brad and I have the same passion for these cars, as in we don't like them. So not having a great day. As Irwin's doing a good job of hanging on Thompson. It's a pretty close little race right now. Only about 7/10 gap as we see. Ooh, that's really tight there by Kevin Irwin. As you see, looks like the slowdown got him. So maybe a little too tight through that corner.
Yeah, I want to stay with Irwin just for a couple of moments here, because when he landed off the jump coming out of turn number 2 a few moments ago, it looked really strange and kind of sour. It looked like that car was briefly hopping a wheelie, so we'll be able to follow this with not a lot of time left to go here in this race. Yeah, that is bizarre. You can see the car lands and then it bounces up one more time. I have never seen that before in a rally car until today.
Yeah, that's a lot of rebound in that front suspension for that rally car. As he looks like it does look like it's kind of jacked up. Even looking at it, as it's working its way around, it just looks like there's a huge gap in the travel there in the front end. Maybe more so than what you're seeing in Adam Thompson, or maybe not. Maybe just maybe slightly more than we would see in Adam's car. But yeah, he's getting quite a bit of a quite a bit of a wheelie stand there on the way off the jump. And we might get a better look at it here as we see Thompson.
Oh,
wow, that is getting as some about a rebound there in the front end of that car. That's crazy.
that is so. It just looks so stupid. It's funny, but a little bit goofy. I'm gonna be honest. It definitely looks a little bit stupid there. But Adam Thompson, your race 1 winner. Kevin Irwin slotted in P2. Edgar Sancinelli, Jimmy Howard, and waiting for Brad Cathcart to come across the line here. That's probably the most graceful jump that I've ever seen in rally racing. About to get race number 2 up and rolling here in a few moments' time. As you take a look, I like the sign. The competitor West parking sign is still out there, covered with the small little traffic barrels, which are called the Ohio State Flower. If anyone has driven down I-80 in the state of Ohio, you know that to be true. Let's take a look at the starting grid here for the second race of the night. 4 cars strong with Tyler Brown, Matt Lass, Andy Kosick, and Tyler Coates completing your field. See, very, very quick to go through that. It's not like the grids that we had to go through earlier on today, Charles, with the Weekend Warriors runoffs, where we were sat there for about 15 years.
Yeah, it's those 30-car grids where it takes us a minute or two to get through. But yeah, great racing today. It was still just so much fun to watch, and we're waiting on one more car to get on the grid. There is that very, very bright Volkswagen Beetle, and we're off with the lights, counting him down. Get the start here. Good clean start by everybody. Didn't see any jumps, so we're off to the races and going 2 wide down into the first corner.
And everybody running clean and green throughout the field. Getting it up and rolling. That they want to change that, maybe, as Matt Lass and Tyler Brown nearly come to blows. Andy Kosick still going to have the battle side by side with himself and Tyler Coates as they begin the first lap of the race and head their way down into what is technically turn number 1. Not the first turn that they have to deal with in this race, however, and most certainly will not be the last. A gap forming, though, in this pack of cars as we're going to see some maybe break away to do the Joker lap. I don't believe I saw everybody do it. It may have been one farther up the road. Is perfect time for me to cut away from that as Tyler Coates and Andy Kosick nearly make contact. Tyler Brown and Matt Lass in the meantime now. I think that both of them took that Joker lap because look at that gap they have grown.
Yeah, about 11 seconds between Lass and Coates. So I'm in agreement with you. I think they went ahead and took the Joker on the first lap. And you see now the timing and scoring system indicates that's exactly what happened as they've set their first lap. And so now they're going to be it's going to be up to Coates and Kosick to work together here and get to a point where they can get their Jokers done as well. So we see those 2 Beetles fighting in the back there. Yeah, just having some fun. And there goes Coates for his Joker. So he's going to take that, and that's going to bring him up to the back of the field just a little bit. So, now the gap's down to like 4 seconds. Kosick still hanging around there in the back, has yet to take his first Joker lap as we're back up front with Brown and Lash still trailing by about 8 tenths.
Yeah, so keeping tabs on this battle still between these racers, setting quick time after quick time. Tyler Coates able to be much quicker just because he came in to serve that Joker lap last time around. Still waiting for Kosick to do the same. I think maybe in the first race you only have to come down and serve the Joker lap once because I believe these 2 drivers have only served it 1 time. Tyler Coates, we've only seen him do it once, and Kosick, meanwhile, has yet to do it as he's still out there on the racetrack. Actually, decided not to do it this time around either, so he's going to stay out there on the racetrack, take the long shoot. I'm always a little bit fascinated by rallycross tracks because there's some where the Joker lap is a lot shorter than the regular configuration, and some where the Joker lap is a lot longer.
Yeah, absolutely. It is just it's a different lap length than the normal lap, and sometimes it will actually hurt you on your lap, and then sometimes it will actually it'll actually help you on your lap. As we see both of those, I think that's their second Joker. I think both of them took the Joker again, and I believe that's also as well as Coates has taken his, and so now they've got both theirs taken care of as we're on lap 4, and here comes Kosick for his first time through the Joker. So he's got one of them done, and that's not going to help him because everybody took the Joker lap that time, so he's not going to get much of his time back.
Yeah, he will thankfully gain a little bit this time around because he has to come in to serve his second as everybody else has done. Tyler Brown holding on to a 1.8 second gap between himself and Matt Lass. Looks like these drivers have really spread out. Tyler Coates in the hippy dippy VW, very fitting for that. Currently running in third at the current moment. Andy Kosik pick up a slowdown. That will not help out his cause one bit. Meanwhile,
No.
Tyler Brown slides his way onto the asphalt, one of the many transitions on the circuit, heads his way up through the turn, back onto the dirt, gripping it and ripping it right as he heads his way out of the final turn. Matt Lass ripping it a little bit too hard. I think he just had a half spin there in the back of shot, but Tyler Brown gonna win the second heat race of the night. Matt Lass gonna finish right behind in P2. Andy Kosik and all that, with a very bad landing there. That, I think, just gave me whiplash looking at it.
Yeah, and still managed to pass Tyler Coates, who apparently had an issue there on that last lap, and is going to come in and finish last. You see the damage on the front of his car. So see if we get a replay here as we see Coates working his way around.
Oh,
and there you see Kosik going through his second Joker, and I think just went very wide and missed the corner completely and had to gather it back up, and then for good measure drives it into the post there after he crosses the start-finish line.
And he never actually came across the line either. I mean, he was going to finish in fourth either way, but he was never classed as finishing the race. So Tyler Brown still out there on the racetrack running pretty much all by his lonesome. I think we may be forced to get the next race up and rolling here in a few moments' time. But I think I was worried that we were going to be jumped away and bounced off of that replay before I could see the whole thing. So I just want to see the overtake. But I think he did hit the wall shortly thereafter. But either way, let's take a look at the starting grid for the third heat race of the night. It's actually another four-car strong pack with Derek Folk, Jake Ham, Chad Gross, Jason Grider completing your field already. About to get a start here as the green flag's out. The drivers are on their way, and Chad Gross was caught napping at the lights big time there. He's going to be on the back foot. Derek Folk slingshots out in front with Jake Ham and Jason Grider right in tow.
Yeah, they're way on the inside there, kind of really offline, but managed to gather it back up and is going to maintain the lead as Jake Ham is closing him down about a half second back, another half second back to Gross. Grider hanging on back there in the back and is just going to be taking his time around as these guys are going to do battle up front. We'll see who is going to. There we go. There's the first taker. We see Folk taking the Joker. You see how short that is. It cuts out very large chunk of track, and Chad Gross looks like, was that Jason Grider takes it as well. So Grider taking advantage of being back there by himself, getting that Joker done, getting it out of the way. So that's one down for him. That puts him up into P2 with about a 4-second gap up to Folk.
Yeah, so the top two have now taken the first of two Joker laps. Jake Ham and Chad Gross going to save that a little bit later on. Now, it worked out as a good strategy call for Andy Kosik. We'll have to see if it works out well for these two. Jake Ham looking to turn his season around. He got a good result last time out. Now, I would tell you what racetrack we were running at 2 weeks ago, but if I could remember it, which I can't, so you can leave that be. But however, he's had a little bit of misfortune ever since we ditched the ARCA cars quite some time ago. But I think he's looking to try and end this section of the season, the third series of the championship, off on a high note, get a good result here, and just try and hit the ground running once we get off into the asphalt road stuff to round off the season. That'll be running all the way through into February.
Yeah, and it's we want Jake to do well because we need somebody to kick Adam off the top of the step there. We can't let Adam win this league. Just to be honest, so we need Jake to finish well up here in all these events and keep it close as best he can until we get back onto some asphalt, and then I'm sure Jake will start moving forward again. He's quite good. I was watching him. We're racing with him, I should say, at the end of last season in the GT3s, and he was up the front every race once we got back into the racing tracks as opposed to these dirt courses.
See, I think there's a little bit of love that can be given to Dirt Road. I would love to see Dirt Road get a bit more love, and hearing the iRacing development update a little bit earlier on that video that was just recently released. I think it was released yesterday, and then they took it down, and then they brought it back out. It's a whole different thing. But yeah, I would love to see Dirt Road get a bit more love and side-to-side contact with J-Cam and Derek Folk. J-Cam now able to get that second Joker lap taken care of, and has brought him right into the fold. These two gonna duke it out in a side-by-side scrap. It goes away of Ham, but it is still not over. Christ, I can't speak.
It's not oval either, so yeah, it's fine.
It's road. Dirt road, but road nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see Ham with that little bit of a lead there over Folk as they're working their way through the last few corners here. It looks like Folk had a pretty good run there, not able to capitalize. A little lock up of the brakes as they work their way around this little sharp hairpin. It's got a lot of camber in it. I noticed that as we were looking. It's almost like a Zandvoort-esque corner, except with dirt. And so that's just a little too far wide there by Folk, and that's going to knock a couple of tenths off of his lap time as he is still trying to hang on. They get to the final jump before the start-finish line here, and it's going to be Jake Cam, and then Derek Folk is going to not quite get there, but it's going to be close. It's going to be half second as we see those two finish, and then we have Chad Gross coming across in third, and then JG1 coming across in fourth. And that'll be the end of Heat 3, and we'll be ready for our one of our mains coming up here just very shortly.
That was a perfectly cut crash. That was fantastic. Yeah, let's take a look at the starting grid for the consolation race. So this will set pretty much the back half of your field here tonight. And it's going to be Edgar Sancinelli starting on the front row. Andy Kosick alongside in P2. I say front row. It's a dirt road race, so everybody's kind of starting in a big clump. Chad Gross will be in third. Jimmy Howard in fourth. Tyler Coates in fifth. Jason Grider in sixth. Brad Cathcart completing your 7 starters here. For the second to last race of the rally cars here in Season 10 of XSLR, everybody has gridded up. We're about to get a go here soon, waiting for the lights to go out once again. A stacked grid of racers, everybody looking to set their starting spot off in the main race coming up. The green flag flies and the drivers are on their way. Sancinelli, Kosick, and everybody are hurting their way down into turn 1 and crashing already. That's Chad Gross who gets spun up into the fence. Jason Grider involved in that. I think Jimmy Howard in the ill-fated Budweiser machine may have had a say in that as the cars around him crunched into the wall like a crushed Budweiser can.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what they looked like. We'll have to get a better replay of that one. But yeah, it definitely looked like they're argy-bargy there going down into the first corner as we're going to get the replay here from the back, and we'll see the 37 car moving to the middle and then making contact there with the car on the outside. That's the 29 car of I think that was how it is contact made there. That's going to put those guys on the back foot. Jimmy Howard with a slow round. Oh, as we see more contact there. Howard again. Oh, and that's Chad Gross as well. JG as well. So obviously these guys are not having a really good race as we see the cars just getting crumpled up into a wide there for the second time tonight. And it was just coming out. It looked like Howard had taken the Joker lap and just came out right at the same time that at JG was coming through. And so you saw the contact, and then obviously nowhere for Chad Gross to go as the track was blocked. So you see now back up to the front as we've got Sancinelli dropping down to fourth as we have a couple of drivers taking their Joker lap. Kosick leading, Coates in second, Cathcart third, Sancinelli fourth, and then a big gap back to Grider, Gross, and Howard.
Yeah, so still looking at some battles out there on the racetrack. Brad Cathcart, Tyler Coates side by side. Here we go. Oh, that was a bad. Oh, contact made right there in the main frame of the shot, as I thought it was Chad Gross who may have just wrecked himself. I just saw that car auger straight into the fence, so I'm not sure. It's marking that Jason Grider's had some sort of off-track excursion, but that was a little bit later on as we'll fast forward through this replay, figure out exactly what happens in a race car going at super speed. This may have actually been kind of similar to what happened to him a bit earlier on here. It's I feel like I'm watching a Monty Python sketch here.
Oh, there you go. Oh,
There we go.
he managed to hang on to that. That's pretty nice driving there, catching the side of the ramp and still manages to nail the landing and keep the car on the track. So great job there by Grider to hang on to it. I think I saw the same thing you did in the background. That somebody just went way wide and looked like unable to recover that. It was like I said, it was either Gross or Howlett, one of those two cars. But back up the front, we've got Cossack leading, Sachinelli running in second, Coates third, Brad Cathcart in fourth. So, as we see Jason Grider driving it straight into the wall. I don't know what that was. Maybe he moved over a little bit too far to the left and ended up catching the wall, and it just basically turned his car sideways and then around. That was very interesting as we see Sachinelli now.
No!
That's not good. That's not good at all. He just kind of fell off the side of the berm. And so now he's going to try and backtrack and climb the side of the hill. So we've turned this into Mount Washington South. As Sachinelli now is trying to back it up the hill. You said something about a Monty Python sketch a few minutes ago. I think it turned into a Benny Hill sketch. So as we're kind of watching Edgar Sachinelli take it every possible angle over that jump except the proper one, and finally gets the car righted and back around and is back in fourth place.
Edgar had some drama a bit earlier on in this race, and thinking about it once again, I think the car that we saw a little bit screwy over a jump a bit earlier may have been Edgar. I'm going to take a look to try and find the initial one, because things were already looking a little bit interesting, shall we say, but that... I'm sorry, that may have been one of the funniest things that I've ever seen in quite some time. We're going to take a look at a moment here with, yeah, there you can see Edgar involved in all that, trying to mount it up as, Jason Grider had to take evasive action, as you can just see. That may have been the goofiest scene that I've seen in my entire broadcasting career, and I've seen Formula V cars strike the moon, so that's really saying something.
Yeah, absolutely. As Cossack comes around, leading yet another lap, got a nice gap over Tyler Coates. You obviously can't really tell how many jokers these cars have taken. So we're going to say that Cossack may have went ahead and taken both of his and has a definitely has did not take it that time by, because it was a 47-second lap. So Tyler Coates obviously took one of his 38 seconds. So we can tell by the lap times after the fact when those jokers have been taken. But Cossack with a nice, comfortable lead out of about 8 seconds over Tyler Coates. Brad Cathcart running in third, another 8 seconds back, and then Sachinelli 7.2 or so back in fourth place, and has tickled our ribs tonight. So we're thankful for Edgar for giving us a little bit of humor during the course of this race. So that was fun to see. Indeed.
Golly, as we were following Andy Cossack when he landed off the jump not too long ago, maybe it was just my perspective, which would be the perspective of the viewer since I'm producing this broadcast, but it sounded like a shotgun going off when he landed back on the ground. Not sure what it is about that jump. It looks like the far half of the jump, for lack of a better term, it looks like it's set up kind of odd, where it's not just a big lump in the road. It looks like you land on a bit that's like half flat, half still a little bit tilted. It looks a little bit odd as you head your way off through there, and I wonder if that may be the reason why so many people are having trouble with that jump here on this racetrack. Chad Gross and Jimmy Howitt, they've been at this race for quite some time. Jimmy Howitt's still in the pseudo pit lane, waiting to see this race come to its conclusion. I think if there's anybody who's looking forward to seeing the end of the dirt rally stuff, it probably will be Jimmy Howitt, because he has had a torrid time in that Ford Focus.
He has indeed, and it's starting to get a little bit tighter here as we're on board here with Brad Cathcart, closing that gap up to Tyler Coates. The gap is only 1.7, so it was 8 seconds a minute ago, so I'm assuming that Tyler Coates had an issue. Sachinelli's car is broken so badly. You can see the wheels just, vibrating. It's probably the roughest ride. If you were driving a car like that, it'd be driving it on four flats. and just struggling, obviously, as Grider able to get around him to take over fourth position. Yeah, he's just struggling just to get around the corner in his car. This car is really, really broken, and now Cathcart closing a gap a little more, even further now as we're on the last lap. Cossack with a big lead. Oh, that was a little too much corner there, as you see the car popping a wheelie as he came through there, and that's going to arrest his charge to get up to second position. As Cossack is coming around, he's going to lap. Looks like Jason Grider working their way around for the jump the final time, and you see both cars successfully navigating that as Cossack makes the lap pass around. And that's going to be finish line for him and for Grider as Grider slides through the corner. And the gap now back to P2 is less than a second as Tyler Coates looks like he's going to be able to hold off Brad Cathcart at the very end there and get it. And he does indeed, and then slides the car, and Cathcart nowhere to go and just rams him. So Coates finishing second, Cathcart finishing third. Grider fourth, and we'll get the rest of the results here just in a second.
Yeah, so let's take a look at those results from a B main, the consolation race, which I think was meant to be a lot shorter than that. It's usually the feature that's around 12 laps. We were warned that it was going to be a 10-lap feature, and then the B main was 10 laps. So, either way, it supplied us with enough entertainment to probably fill up half the shows here on SMB, but we always like to have a good time on slow motion broadcasting. Here's your results. Andy Cossack, your winner. Tyler Coates in P2. Brad Cathcart in third with Jason Grider, Edgar Sancinelli, Jimmy Howden, Chad Gross completing your top 7 as we wait to see the drivers running out there on the racetrack here in this warm-up session. A little bit of time to really decompress and get a swing of things as to how everything is going to go here. I think this may be a good shot here. Just follow Edgar Sancinelli. Great guy, new series organizer for the American Muscle Series that will be returning here to slow motion broadcasting in the next couple of weeks, and has given one of the funniest moments from a section of the season that has been absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think as I said, he climbed that jump in every way possible. Except for the right way. He came off one side, backed it up the other side, backed it up around and tried to get everything right. And just, and once again, very, very humorous. I'm sure for him, quite a bit frustrating trying to get the car headed the right direction. Yeah, that's not the easy. He did it the hard way. So hopefully the rest of this race, he can do it the easy way and take the jumps naturally. And we'll see if he can put together a good run here in our feature as we get a little practice in, a little warm up before the start with about a minute left, as we'll get him one good. And there we go. That's the way you do it there, Edgar. Great job. That's exactly how you're supposed to take that jump. And so now just 10 more times and you got it covered.
And he actually, I'll bring this up quickly as, that was Derek Folk who somehow blew his motor up potentially. No, he's still running out there with a good motor.
Ooh.
Just got a fantastic bump start. I mean, granted, his rear end housing is probably about 5 inches farther forward than it once was, but it worked out well. Just wanted to say that Edgar Sancinelli currently slotted in 4th here in this warm-up session. Pretty much no time left on the board, though, so we can't read too much into that. Everybody just ripping it out there on the racetrack, trying to have a good time before we look ahead to the next round of the championship, which, of course, will be at VIR. And if you are enjoying this broadcast here on Slow Motion Broadcasting, how about you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the racing action. Have a lot of action to look forward to as we swap out Season 4 of 2025 for Season 1 of 2026. So we're going to see a bunch of cars disappear here in a couple of moments' time. Yep, there we go. Only the smoke trails left behind, which I think is very funny. It makes it seem like this racetrack is a ghost town, which it probably would be this time of year in real life, but nonetheless, it isn't in the sim. It's It's hot, and we have got a fun race to look forward to. So let's take a look at the starting grid. It's going to be Adam Thompson starting from the pole, Tyler Brown in P2, Jake Ham in 3rd, Kevin Irwin in 4th, Matt Lass in 5th, Derek Folk in 6th, Andy Cossack in 7th, Tyler Coates in P8, Brad Cathcart, the Aussie, in the 905 in P9, Jason Grider in 10th, Edgar Sancinelli in P11, Jimmy Howitt will start this race in 12th. Only one more starter, that being Chad Gross. That was the most dramatic reveal for a P13 starter that I think I've ever done in my life. But this is going to be a wild one. We've already seen some pretty wild racing, and have no doubts in my mind that the rat race heading down to turn number 1, much like they have been throughout a vast majority of this rally section of the season, will probably be as close as we could ever see to iRacing Hunger Games. So may God have mercy on these drivers' souls. May God have mercy on my graphics card as we get 2, 3, 4, 5 lights out, and the drivers are on their way down into turn number 1. Who's gonna jump out in front? Who's gonna run into some trouble? Looks like everybody's getting through smooth, at least at the front of the field. Adam Thompson leading over Kevin Irwin. Everybody else running smoothly behind. I think we got off to a clean start. Praise be the Lord.
I think we did as well. Oh, we did. Well,
no, I changed that.
Yeah, Cossack and Sancinelli are in the back of the field. Looks like there was some contact between those two cars, as we've got Thompson, Irwin, and Jake Ham up at the front. And I think, you mentioned something earlier about the jump, how it's kind of maybe the wrong length or width of a jump, as we see some cars taking the early Joker lap. And maybe that's what's contributing. Oh, no, that's Jason Grider off up against the Armco barrier, and going to try and dodge all the barrels, dig it down the staircase and into the fence. So not the way you want to do that, and I'm not really sure what's going on, but he looked like he's not under power at this point. So we'll see if we can get a replay here. Yep, got Jason right behind Howitt. Coming around the corner there, and jumps to the Joker lap and says, all right, I'm going to take the Joker this time. And it works his way through successfully, and just too much speed, and carries it in, and probably wheel damage. Just couldn't get the car turned to the left to get it back onto the track. And that may be a race done for JG, unfortunately. We see a couple cars with slowdowns. But once again, I think that was maybe contributing to the car that we were watching bounce. I think that was Kevin Irwin. Maybe that the size of that jump is contributing to that extra bounce that Irwin is getting on his car.
Yeah, that could potentially do it, as Adam Thompson able to jump into the race lead. Brad Cathcart has come in to serve his Jokers. Thompson just came in to serve another. Kevin Irwin did too, so he's going to be able to leapfrog in front of everybody. Meanwhile, the battling's still going to be intense. Derek Folk now getting in the middle of all that. Will he go for a 3-for-1 deal? I think he will. Will he take up that coupon? He barges Jake Ham off the track. So he used a coupon, but he had to punch a manager in the process.
He did indeed. Doing, as we get a little bounce from Folk there as well. Maybe it's just the Subaru. Maybe that's the thing. I don't know. Either way, you saw a little bounce there from Folk as he finished his jump, and he basically. I think you're absolutely right. It was kind of a Black Friday type coupon cash in there by Folk, as he was just pushing folks out of the way to get through there.
Yeah, happy holidays to you. Bang. That's pretty much what it was like. That's the equivalent of somebody throwing a sucker punch another person's way because they're holding on to a brand new Nintendo Switch 2. That's pretty much what we had hang down to turn number 1, which never thought I'd see the day in iRacing where that sort of situation happened, but guess what? It just did. Tyler Brown and Matt Lass still squabbling up with Jake Ham right in tow. This battling is still rather intense out there on the racetrack. I want to give some love to these racers in the closest battle we have going on out there on the circuit currently. Oh my goodness, that was a huge curve back from Tyler Brown. He's going to stack them up big time. They're nearly 3 wide as they head their way off through the time twisties. Jake Ham going to say, thank you very much. I will take that time, take the opportunity to take the Joker lap, and he jumps his way up into 3rd.
Yep, absolutely. Right time, right place for Jake Ham to jump up and get out of that scrum and get back up into 3rd place. Only a couple seconds behind Derek Folk, so still has a little bit of work to do yet to move up, as he's got a nice gap. We got Matt Lass with a black flag Have we at incident point limits already, or is that some other reason that something that might be happening there? As we see Jimmy Howitt there in amongst the battle, as we're going to get a look here at Matt as he works his way through, and that's the 821 of Brown, I believe, in front of him, and then contact with the barrier backwards. That's another 2X, and then another contact with a wall, and continuing to reverse his and then on to the Joker lap, which might have been the problem right there, as he crossed off the main track onto the Joker section in reverse and toward the end. So that might be the reason that he got the black flag.
You know, that might be the saddest J-turn that I think I've ever seen, but I'm not sure how easy it is to do a J-turn in a Rally Fiesta. Oh, as he runs wide once again, Matt Last may have to worry about more incident points getting collected and put in his arsenal. He can't come in to serve that black flag because you don't have a pit lane. You do have pits here, and I believe Edgar Sancinelli is one of two cars, both Subarus, interestingly enough, that are there at the moment, but you can't come in to serve a drive-through because that pit lane is pretty much just a one-way street. You leave the pits, you don't enter them. So,
yeah, so I'm going to guess that's just a time penalty at the end of this race, which is going to hurt. Unfortunate for Lass, because that's going to add some amount of time to the end of his race ending time, and probably drop him down the order several positions, as we got a nice battle here between Howitt and Tyler Brown. Tyler Brown, nice run on the inside. He took that really deep, but look at that slingshot by Howitt. Wow. Great move by Howitt with the crossover, and then lands on top of him. That's crazy. And you see
broke off his wheel.
Car is broken. And so you see the right rear is just off the rim there, as they had a really good battle going on. Like I said, that was a nice move by Howitt to kind of cross him over. And then when they landed, he basically landed on top of Howitt's car, but that right rear landed flat onto the track and just destroyed that suspension. So now he's dragging his hind leg around for a couple of laps to finish off this race.
Oh, no, he finally towed. Okay, I was going to say, if he's still running out there on the racetrack with a broken wheel, because I did see him out there with the broken wheel. I'm like, no way. Yes way. Yeah, it looked like he was going to try and do that. What are the chances? Because that landing on top of that Ford is basically like swatting a gnat in a giant wind tunnel. You can't really do it. It's just so unbelievably minuscule. I am gobsmacked.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that you hit the smallest car on the track as they're battling there, and end up landing on top of him and just destroying your car. He's fine. He's still continue on running in 8th, although he does have a slowdown somewhere from a track limit violation, which he's got cleared now. So got Matt Last still with that black flag. Is running in 7th position, right behind Brad Cathcart there, still trying to pick up as much time as he can, knowing that he's going to have a penalty added on to the end of this. So this is mainly more for just maybe bragging rights more than anything else, as he's continuing on. Adam Thompson way out in front, 3.8 seconds over Irwin, Derek Folk, Jake Ham running in 4th. Tyler Coates rounds out your top 5. But so far, great run. There's Adam Thompson taking the victory. Kevin Irwin's going to end up finishing in 2nd. Derek Folk in 3rd. Jake Ham's going to round out 4th place. Tyler Coates is going to end up finishing in, I was going to say he was going to end up finishing in 5th, but it looks like Matt Last may have taken his Joker at the very end there and is going to end up finishing in 5th. Obviously, that's temporarily until everybody finishes. Cathcart 6th, Coates 7th, Howitt 8th, and then I think Cossack was 9th. So great run. Obviously, Adam Thompson extending his championship lead. Unfortunately, wow.
What was that for?
That's the rebound you should expect to see from tires, and unfortunately, that only happens on a dirt course.
Oh. What? That seems a little unnecessary. We're gonna follow him, because now we have the moment that we have been waiting for here at Atlanta. The rallycross configuration, much like Daytona and Sonoma for that matter, is on the ancient scans. So we're gonna switch opportune time to switch to the drone cam. I will say, here at Slow Motion Broadcasting, we are the only broadcasting company that needs insurance protection for its drones, helicopters, and blimps to prevent from race car impacts, and you're going to see why in a couple of moments' time. If this doesn't give you a reason to subscribe and hit the notification bell, I don't know what will. Because talk about majestic, talk about beautiful. Here in the holiday season, sometimes you gotta wonder what kind of gifts you want to get for your friends and foes. Here at Atlanta, though, we have got one of the best gifts in the world. Maybe some good racing out there on the racetrack, even with that super speedway-ish version of the NASCAR racetrack that they have nowadays. Maybe this really confusing rallycross track. Whatever the case may be, whatever your personal thoughts are, I know that my personal favorite gift from Atlanta is the jump of the gods as they head their way to it. Up in the air they all go, smashing the engines, and they lawn dart into the ground. Adam Thompson turning his car into a cube of tungsten the size of a Coke can with a huge impact that would just about shear the skin off of any human. I just saw a driver auger straight into the ground. I feel bad for the landscaping crew.
Yeah, great way to end up the race with the massive jump, running the Atlanta Oval backwards. That's a very nice way to end that, and with a huge jump, and obviously destroying their cars. But great racing tonight. I'm so glad I was up here in the booth and not out there on the track, suffering along with those guys. But they put on a good show for us. Some great moments there, and obviously congrats to Adam for getting the victory tonight.
That may be the best call that I've had in my entire broadcasting career. That was absolutely majestic. I'll put that in my demo reel for 2025. So, who knows, if I ever get a real-life broadcasting gig with insert some TV network here, I can point back to that moment and say that is the moment when they decide to sign the contract. Let's take a look at the race results here from the feature before we move off into interviews, because I have a lot of questions, and I think we all really have a lot of questions. I think the drivers have some questions for us as well. Adam Thompson grabs the victory, Kevin Irwin in P2, Derek Folk in third with Jake Hammond P4, Brad Cathcart in fifth, Tyler Coates in sixth, Jimmy Howard will finish this race in P7, Andy Kosick in eighth, Jason Grider will finish in ninth with Matt Last completing our top 10, Tyler Brown will finish in P11, Chad Gross in 12th, and Edgar Sancinelli completing your 13 drivers classified here at the end of the race. And I'll let you all know that if you have enjoyed the broadcast here on Slow Motion Broadcasting, how about you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the racing action. Got a lot of action as we swap out the action from season 1, for season 4 of 2025 for season 1 of 2026. However, it looks like we have some drivers looking to join us here in the broadcast booth. So, Charles, I will let you have first dibs and ask who you want to have a chat with first.
Well, it's against my better judgment. But let's go ahead and bring in our race winner, Adam Thompson, into the booth, and we'll have a chat with him. There we go. Adam, congratulations. Good racing tonight. Some fun racing. So glad I was up here in the booth, nice and cozy, and not out there having to deal with that. But good job tonight, and talk about your race a little bit, and then maybe we can talk about the jump after that.
Yeah, we can talk about that. But no, it was good. Had a good time. Sorry, as I'm talking, you might hear my daughter screaming in the background. But no, it was good. Kevin kept me extremely honest, more honest than I expected. I decided to take both Joker laps pretty early there. Grider, with no fault of his own, just came out after my second Joker lap, which kind of screwed me up just a little bit, but I think I was able to have enough of a gap there on Kevin because I knew he was waiting to take that second one. And obviously when he did, the gap went from about 10 seconds down to 1. And after that, it was just drive clean the best I could. I wasn't trying to set any land speed records or anything like that because I knew how quick Kevin was. And congrats to Kevin, obviously, for P2 after the last week shenanigans in turn 1. But yeah, man, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it looked like it. It looked like fun from up here. So I was again. I did not own the track. I said, you know what? I think I'll just broadcast tonight, and we'll let you guys take care of that. And we'll see you again on the track next week for TCRs. And
are you sure? Well, come on, why, Charles? Why do we have to?
No, I've already ran
listen.
some laps, so I've already started practicing. So,
Oh God! Oh, TCRs! Yikes. Don't even ask me.
No, I'm going to blame Andy. We all know who did it. It was Andy that did this, and we'll figure out some punishment for him later. But it's I've got to get laps in, obviously, for the TCRs, because I'm just dreadful with those cars. So it's going to be a little bit of work. But it was kind of interesting. We were watching the race. So I'm going to ask you if you noticed it or not. Obviously, a little bit different with you in the front, kind of watching through the mirror. But there's a couple of cars out there that when they were landing on the track, landing off the jump, the front ends were just basically flying through the air. I mean, it was like they were bouncing once they got it, just like it was maybe too much rebound. I don't know if that was, I think we're fixed setup, so I don't know if there was something special about those cars that just maybe hit the jump wrong or caught the landing maybe differently than others.
Well, so we are fixed setup here, and I will tell you that the jump here finally suited the Subaru more than the other 3 tracks we've done. Phoenix wasn't too bad either, because you had enough time in the jump to get the front end down. But the first 2 races we went to, Sonoma and oh God, I forgot what race we went to the first time, and it's my own league. But so the jump there, if the Subaru doesn't have enough speed, it's super nose heavy with it being front engine. And you cannot get the front end up on the jump, so you would just plow into the landing zone every time. And we got lucky that nobody wrecked their cars doing that the first 2. But these last 2, you actually had to use a bit of brake in the jump for that Subaru, because the Subaru would, at least for me, driving the Subaru, it would come up way up in the air. You had to get on the brakes to allow the rotational force of, obviously, the tires to bring the front end of the car down. And I had to get on the gas a little bit even to make sure it landed even, because if you land, obviously, rear wheels first, when that front end slams down, it's going to shoot it back up into the air again. So that was not a glitch or anything. That's just how the physics of these cars are. Obviously, imagine jumping your car. Please don't, by the way. If anybody thinks about jumping their car, please don't. But if you were to jump your car, the front end would come up into the air, depending on how fast you were going. And then when the rear wheels hit first, imagine a dirt bike, the front end just slams down into the ground and pops back up again.
Yeah, I believe in motocross they call that brake gyro, is using the brakes to kind of reset the balance of the car in air. Very, very well done by you, and obviously had it nailed to a T tonight. So great job again, Adam, and we'll let you give any thanks or meow meows before we let you get out of here.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, meow to Charles or meow to Ron and yourself, Charles. Haven't been able to meow at both of you guys in the booth for quite a bit. Anybody that's watching this that don't understand, just go back and watch any Weekend Warriors race. Maybe not any of them, but when I've been around, you will hear the meows. And this all started from Ron coming into one of my broadcasts, just popping in and saying, I have absolutely nothing to say, and popping out. So after that, the meows started, and they will not end. Ron, you did this to yourself. Do you have anything to say about yourself, Ron? Or do you have anything to defend?
You know, I'm actually going to share a bit of an anecdote here. So I got a comment on a video that I posted probably about 1.5 years ago. It was talking about the fact that nobody with the last name Smith had ever raced in the Indy 500. And somebody said, oh yeah, Sam Schmidt, because Schmidt is German for Smith. And now,
sure.
me having a German last name, I went into Google Translate and put in my last name of Maunz into the German side and tried to see what it translated to into English. It's meow.
Yep, I see where this is. Yep, I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Sometimes I stagger to even disappoint myself.
So the next time I see you on track, Ron, which I hope is sooner rather than later, we got to get you in some cars, man. And I'm broadcasting. You are now Ron Meows instead of Ron Maunz. Everybody else, shout out. Obviously, my wife, massive shout out to her. My daughter, Aspen, as well. But yeah, she's going back to school to be an LPN, and haven't shouted her out yet. She's doing her prerequisites and stuff right now, and she's getting into LPN school on next March. It's going to be a very long year for us, because it's 5-6 days really on, and you got 1 day off to get her LPN degree. So again, I'm super proud of you, Sarah, and I know you never watch these, but I guarantee you can hear me right now. So super proud of you. And if anybody has Sarah on Discord, just hit her up and give her a shout out, please, because that woman means the world to me. She's done a whole lot, and she continues to do more, even with our daughter. So proud of you. And then obviously all the drivers in the league. Can't do this without you guys. We've been having a blast, kind of. I know a lot of people getting wrecks, and it kind of gets irritating for some drivers. I did it last week. We all get irritated sometimes, but to have the people come back every week to have 13 strong. Edgar Sanchinelli has been showing up for the past couple weeks as well, so massive shout out to Ed for coming into XSLR. But last but not least is Tyler Richards, my boss, T-Rich, Tiny, T. Richards, whatever you want to call him. Tiny, thank you so much for watching the race, and I know you didn't do too good at golf today, buddy, but there's always next time. In case anybody knows, I beat him pretty bad at golf today.
That's the sad part about golf, is there is always next time, because you'll end up going back, unfortunately. And as bad as I am on these dirt courses, I'm a terrible golfer, so you will never find me on the golf course, except maybe at the 19th hole, enjoying a beverage, Yep. So Adam, thanks for stopping in. Great race tonight, and we're going to let you go, and we'll bring a couple other of these drivers in, and we'll have some conversation. So thanks again. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, Charles. Talk to you next week, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm probably banned from some golf courses out there the more that I think about it. Mini golf courses. That I feel like you have to be like a professional dumbass to get banned from a mini golf course, but that would be an interesting discussion for a later point in time. Let's quickly have a chat with Kevin Irwin here, because we have our whole podium showing up here. So let's have a chat with the man behind the wheel of the cheese car and ask him about the race, and also about the other kind of wonky landing from the jumps. Kevin, welcome into the broadcast booth. Before I ask you about the jumps and some of the wheelies that the Subarus were popping here, how was the race today here at Atlanta?
This was by far, I think, one of the best tracks that we've done this season. Gets us all a little bit more open, so that way we're not, right on top of each other. Definitely not a race like last week. And gives us a very interesting choice of options when we're taking that Joker lap.
Yeah, and seeing how much of an advantage it was using that Joker lap, I think the term strategy really applies to it, trying to figure out the best way to run that strategically, and always love seeing that added dynamic be added into these races. I want to ask you, though, earlier on in the night, I think it was in one of the heat races, we saw your car land off some of the jumps and hop the front wheels up into the air as soon as you landed. Was that a matter of any sort of damage, or was the car just doing that all throughout the night?
I was really hoping that we weren't going to get any damage. When we were doing some practices in this and had the damage off, and so we didn't have to worry about that. But a couple of the laps I did in practice, I'd get the crew chief saying you lost some fluid, you lost some power. So yeah, I was really hoping that I wasn't going to do any of that in the race. I think it was the last lap of the heat. I came down a little bit too hard, and he said that I lost a little bit of power, but thankfully it did not account to too much. I was able to just keep it going and finish out that heat in second.
Yeah, it works out well for you at the end, walking away with a P2 here from the main race. I want to just ask you about this rally section of the schedule as a whole, because it's been very tough for everybody up and down the grid, I think it's fair to say.
Oh yeah, this definitely was not my idea. But yeah, it was. I love the rally cars where we've done a lot of the Pro 4s. The Pro 2s aren't. We don't like those as much, but we've done them. I'm definitely looking forward to next season. We'll most likely be doing those new cross karts, and just anything on the dirt. It's as the track state wears in, there's a little bit more strategy, a little bit different lines you got to take. It's not the same as just running asphalt.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that because I actually got the opportunity to drive the cross car here on this track a little bit earlier on this weekend, even though that car has not very good visibility. I think I've seen more with a paper bag over my head while being blinded. I still think that'll be a very fun series to look forward to come time for Season 11. But Kevin, thank you for joining us in the booth, and we'll let you give a thanks or shout-outs before we let you go and celebrate the P2 run.
Thanks for everybody in this league that's been, sticking with all of the races. It's been a lot better than once it starts dying out towards the end. It makes for a lot better racing, a lot better broadcasting. Shout out to you guys for all that you do. Do a little bit, nothing against him, but you do a little bit better than our old friend Tim Cox. You just get a little bit of back and forth with each other. But yeah, and thanks for everybody involved.
See, now Charles and I are not the best in terms of throwing shade at Tim, because Tim was my predecessor on the Weekend Warriors broadcast, and Tim was also Charles' old co-commentator on those Weekend Warrior shows as well. So I'm not sure if we can throw too much shade at Tim. We'll say one comment he made in the chat at Sonoma a couple of weeks ago was so disturbing. I have had to enroll back in therapy though, so we can use that as a bit of material.
Don't worry, I'll throw enough shade towards them for the both of you.
Alrighty, fair enough. Thank you for making it up for us, Kevin. Thank you for joining us in the booth as well. Well done, the second place run, and we'll see you out there on track for the TCRs next week.
All right, now we'll see you then.
Alrighty, sounds good. That right there was Kevin Irwin, our P2 finisher here in this race. And Charles, I'll let you have a chat with our P3 runner here tonight, that being Derek Folk.
Yeah, let's bring Derek in. Derek, congratulations tonight on the P3. So talk about your race. It was pretty interesting. Obviously, the last race in the Dirt Road Series. So what are your thoughts about tonight's race and then this section of races overall?
Yeah, it was great. This was really my first time doing any dirt road racing. Really just kind of learning the sport, the drive style. Was able to pick up a lot of pointers from the guys here, really helping me understand how to get that car turned around. And it's worked well for me the past couple races. So I'm ecstatic that we're able to kind of drive some new stuff out here. And then ready for the TCRs come next week.
Yeah, I'm glad somebody is. I'm not quite ready for them yet, but I am ready to get back on some asphalt full time as we round out the rest of the season. Just TCRs and me, just for whatever reason, don't get along. Probably less so than the dirt cars, because I really honestly never drive these cars. So the little bit of limited time I've had out there on the track has not been what I would consider enjoyable. So Derek, I'm glad that you got some fun out of it, and it's always good to pick up stuff. And I will say that we do have a really nice group of drivers here that are very happy to lend a hand and help out and give you some of those pointers that you pick up along the way. Because I think, like I said, most of the time we're all pretty much, for the most part, in Discord for the entire event. So we're all in there chatting or talking, or some of us are muted and just trying to concentrate to keep the car headed the right direction.
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely. It's been very rewarding this season. Again, this is my second year with XSLR, and really getting the opportunity to drive a lot of things I normally wouldn't. So I try to find the enjoyment in the little things and try to learn something from every new car and every new track.
There you go, and that's how you get some enjoyment out of this. So Derek, congratulations again on the P3, and we'll let you give any thanks or shout outs before you go, and then we'll get ready for VIR next week.
Yeah, absolutely. I like to always thank the guys at XSLR for helping me out and putting this on. You guys at Slow Motion Broadcasting, and give a shout out to all the hard workers back at the Zoot Lord Race Factory, ensuring that our cars are ready to go every week.
There you go, Derek. Thank you. Congratulations, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
And that right there was Derek Folk, your P3 finisher here in this race. And Charles, it was a very fun day in the commentary booth for the both of us between the Weekend Warriors 47th V runoffs a little bit earlier on, and of course here with XSLR tonight. I think it's fair to say that we capped off Season 4 of 2025 in style with a whole lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, it's been fun tonight. Enjoyed being up in the booth and watching the guys that I normally race with out there competing on track. And, this is short-lived for me, at least for the XSLRs. I'll be back on track next week, keeping tabs on the rear of the field as usual. And we'll see if we can't figure out how to drive a Honda Civic Type R with a little bit of pace over the course of the next 4 weeks.
And of course, the TCRs will be the next adventure here in Season 10 of XSLR. Lots of great action to look forward to here on Slow Motion Broadcasting. The upcoming show's graphic is a little bit askew, however, we can still run you through the action this upcoming week. Of course, next week we will have the opening race for the TCRs at VIR. XMS, Ferrari Road and Oval Challenge, going to ring their season into a conclusion at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course this Wednesday. Same night as the opening race of the Sim Racers Group F3 Championship, and may have some Ray Esports action to look forward to as well on Wednesdays too. Tuesdays we'll also have the Sim Racers Group F4 Championship. A lot of stuff is listed, not listed here on the graphic, however it will be in due course. That gives you a very good reason to subscribe and hit that notification bell here on Slow Motion Broadcasting so you never miss out on any of the racing action. But after this broadcast here for the final race of the rally cars in round number 12 of Season 10 of XSLR, that will just about do it. So for myself, Ron Maunz, and Charles Bochelle joining me in the commentary booth, I say thank you all so very much for tuning into the action here on Slow Motion Broadcasting tonight, and we hope to see you all wherever it is in the not too distant future.